support, about what you can be doing differently, what does implementation look like, what do kids talk about, how do kids learn in these different places. And I think our commissioner is the perfect person to tie all of this together into the Arkansas context for innovating student learning. So please welcome our Commissioner, Johnny Key.
Sorry about that. Guess y'all can hear me, right? Good afternoon. So, I have a bad habit of following dynamic speakers. Since I've been in this job, I have had the privilege. Any of you go to ASCD conference last year? Okay, who went before me? Y'all remember? Principal Caffelli. Okay, those of you that were there know what I'm talking about, how dynamic he was. So this trip, this conference, I follow Buddy Berry. And no, Deborah, I'm not going to bounce around and be a penguin today. I'm not going to be a polar bear either. But And then, okay, so then I'm not going to tell you because this may not be public, but next year there's another conference, and I learned that I will also be speaking and sharing a stage with Ron Clark. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So I keep telling my team, y'all got to stop doing this to me. But no, it's all good. Because I think the fact that these folks that are coming to Arkansas sense that something big is happening in this state. And they want to come not only to share what they have done and their vision, but they see a willing audience here in the state of folks who are excited about education. Yesterday I talked to a principal. I don't have permission to say her name, so I won't. But she said, in my 30 years, the last 3 years have been the most exciting because I really sense that for the first time in those 30 years, we're moving in the direction that we need to go for our kids. And it's about the kids. It's about those students. So many of you, over the last year and a half that I've been in this job, you may have wondered, why is the communication coming out of the department so different? And at first you may not have trusted it. You may not have believed it. When you've heard me say, we want to hear from you, we want to know what you're thinking, we want to break down barriers, you may not have quite understood why or trusted what was coming out of my mouth. But with Michael Horn being here this morning, I'm happy to say that's one of the reasons. This book that was given to me by a friend, as I read this book, and I was still in the Senate at the time, and I read this book and I said, yes, that's what we need to do in the state of Arkansas to really change and transform the learning opportunities that we are providing for our students. And so when you look at our vision that we are transforming Arkansas to lead the nation in student-focused education, I hope that what you are seeing in this conference, in the work that's coming out of our department, is reflective of that vision. Because we spend a lot of time on a simple sentence, but a simple sentence that has great power, and hopefully has power that can lead you and your teams in your district to say, you know what, the commissioner, what he's saying, we believe it. It's legit, and it's going to change the opportunities that we have for our students. Because we truly do want to have a student-focused education system in the state of Arkansas. Our mission is, without a mission of this department, that vision really would be meaningless. Without a set of values that back it up with strength and integrity, a vision and a mission would be meaningless. And I want to point to two things here: driving action towards excellence through informed risk-taking. That's what these 2 days are all about. Because you are getting in a place where things get uncomfortable, and things get hard, and things get a little rocky. And it's no different at the department. Things get a little rocky and a little hard when we're having these tough, reflective conversations about how do we do things differently. But I want you to know how important this is. All of you received one of these bags. I hope you noticed what was written on there. Because we believe it's that critical that as an agency, we are driving action towards excellence. That whole term of adequacy, many of you have heard me say it, adequacy being defined as good enough. And I'll ask you that question. Is good enough what we want for our students in the state of Arkansas? Is good enough what you want for your students in your school building, in your classroom, in your community? I don't think anyone would settle for good enough. We get there a number of ways, but one of the ways that we get there is fostering new ideas and promoting effective practices. Not everything you do is a new idea. And not every practice that you've been doing is effective. So we have to constantly ask ourselves, is this something, are we doing it just because it's the new shiny thing? Or are we doing it because it's the right thing to do and it's going to have an impact? And if we try it and it doesn't work, guess what? The department is not going to come down on you and say, you know what, you messed up. We're going to revoke those waivers. We're going to take away your opportunity. We're going to take away your School of Innovation. That's not what it's about. It's about giving you the power and the trust to try those things in your community that you think will work. And if they don't work, you're going to try something else. Because you know better than I know what your kids need, what your educators need. And all this goes driving toward these 5 goals, the 4 of which are about each student. We're talking about meeting those readiness benchmarks, growth, talking about personal competencies, talking about those things that give them a launching pad for success in life. And then that active engagement, 1 year after they graduate. Not enough to simply walk them across the stage, hand them a diploma, shake their hand, pat them on the back and say, good luck. We hope it works out for you. We want to know, is it working out? And if it's not, why? Is it something that happened in high school or junior high or middle school or in elementary school, so our systems can be analyzed and corrections can be made and shifts can happen in our practices? So this is an opportunity that many of our students in Arkansas are not afforded. When I'm going to say, get your phones out, class, because right now we don't always let our kids get one of the most powerful learning tools they have at their fingertips, which is their phone. So get your phones out, and I'm going to show you, I have a couple of QR codes here, and this will take you directly to the Vision webpage. So what we encourage you to do, use this as a tool. Use it as a tool for your teams, for your school boards, for your communities. We want you to show your folks back home this new vision, this mission, these values and goals. And what we hope is that your communities will find common ground and they'll say, yeah, that's what we want out of our school system in the state of Arkansas. Use it as a tool also for self-reflection and provide us feedback, because we're going to be asking on a regular basis for feedback from you. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? That's okay if you disagree. We want to know. Push back where it's appropriate. Pat us on the back where it's appropriate. But this needs to be a dynamic interaction between the department and you as educators in the state of Arkansas. So our vision, to transform Arkansas, to lead the nation in student-focused education. We were in the process of redefining our vision, and guess what? ESSA passed. No idea that was coming. It was almost, well, it happened in December, so kind of like a Christmas gift. Happened the day after my birthday. So a late birthday present for me, and we're thinking, wow, this is great because this fits so well in the work that we're already doing to redefine our vision, our mission, our goals. There are some things now that we have to do. And in stage one, as we have embarked on our ESSA process of preparing our state plan that will be submitted next summer, gathering feedback from our stakeholders, working with you to say what needs to go into a comprehensive and effective and a flexible assessment and accountability system. Simple questions. We need to identify characteristics of excellence in our schools. Well, don't we already know that? Well, you probably do. I think you do, but I think you also recognize that it's different in your community than it looks down the street, down the road, in the next county, in the other part of the state. That's why we need to know what you think. And then in stage two that we'll get into later in this process, in a few months, we're going to start translating those characteristics of excellence and in creating measurements and supports that ensure that we're meeting that bar. So, on your table, everyone should have a stack of papers, 3 questions. And we're going to give you an opportunity right now to have some. This is the biggest table talk audience I think I've ever had. It's also here on this QR code. So this will take you to a Google Doc. If you would rather, y'all talked about Google Glasses, and it took Denise a while to get everybody back in control because everybody was excited about Google Glasses. Yeah, woo. Okay. Megan, was that you? Of course. Yeah, Dr. Slocum she gets excited. I'm glad everybody gets excited. I learned one thing that gets Ivy Pfeffer excited last week. Y'all want to know what it is? We're driving up the highway. We get to Bald Knob. We pull off on the exit. We're on our way to Melbourne for an ESSA listening session. Ivy, is it okay if I tell this story? I didn't ask for permission. We pull off, and she says, "Woo, are we going to the Bulldog?" Anybody that's been through Bald Knob knows what I'm talking about, right? The Bulldog restaurant, right, Miss Whitlow? Okay, so we missed the strawberry shortcake season, but they had chocolate pie that was that tall. And so I found out what gets Ivy excited. Well, it kind of excites me too. So when Google Glasses gets a room full of educators excited, I know that must be really cool. So Denise, good job putting that together. And I didn't know what a Google Doc was when I got to the department. Debbie Jones talked about, well, I've got a Google Doc for that. We go to a meeting, well, I've got a Google Doc for that. Finally, I just said, Dr. Jones, would you please tell me what a Google Doc is? Because we don't use those in the Senate, and we didn't use those at the University of Arkansas system office. You got to tell me what that is. So I have a Google Doc for you this afternoon, and it has these 3 questions. And these 3 questions are simple. What are the most important characteristics of your school? What are the best measures of success or quality of your school? And how do we make sure every student in Arkansas has the opportunity for success? So we are going around right now. We have been to 3 stops on our ESSA listening tour. We've been to Magnolia, we've been to Alma, we've been to Melbourne. We'll be going Forest City, we'll be going Springdale, Pine Bluff, Monticello. Can't remember all of them. I'll get in trouble because I left somebody out. 7 more stops. I encourage you, if you are close to one of those, within a 2-hour drive of one of those, please come. We want to hear from you. And these are the 3 questions we're asking. You are a unique audience. And I'm excited about the opportunity to get your feedback on this because you, better than anyone else in the state, now have an opportunity to answer these 3 questions through the lens of innovation. So after a day and a half now of hearing speakers, hearing discussions about what innovation looks like. We need to have your feedback, so if you would take the next about 5-7 minutes at your table, just have a conversation about answering these questions. And then we're going to have an opportunity for you, if you want to share some of your answers, we're going to have an opportunity to do that. And this is going to be feedback that we are going to plug into our ESSA planning process. So right now, you are a key player with regard to the Arkansas ESSA Accountability Plan. So, Tina, would you start a timer for me? Set it at, Denise, 7 minutes. Does that work? Okay, 7 minutes. So start. Next couple of minutes. Who wants to just pop up and give us one of the answers from your table? On the first question, most important characteristics of your school. Who wants to go? Where's Mr. Bunch?
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Where are we? Right here. Okay.
All right. We came up with a versatile skill sets of faculty along with exceptionally diverse student backgrounds. These factors, combined with a history of willingness to risk and innovate to move towards truly individualized, vigorous education. Our district and faculty consider and provide for the whole student.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. It's almost like y'all knew the question before you had the test. That's really good.
I love it. They need to come to the ESSA steering committee meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, that's excellent, excellent. Okay. Anybody else? Maybe one more on question 1, and we'll jump to question 2. Right back here, Denise. That's okay.
I feel like one of the most important characteristics of our school is our diversity.
Good. Thank you. And diversity in what way? What type of diversity?
We have diversity in diverse ways. We are the definition of diversity. We have socioeconomic diversity, cultural diversity, ethnic diversity. At one time, I think we had 18 different languages that were spoken on campus.
Wow.
Or just on my campus. That's not the whole district. There are over 40 in the district. We have people living in $1 million mansions and homeless children. I mean, it's all over the place. And we have your AP. We have several AP classes, and we have maybe at least 25% of our students are in special ed programs of somehow on my campus. So I mean, we just are diverse in every way.
Absolutely. 40 languages. That gives a whole new meaning to English language learners, right? And growing in Arkansas. All right, let's jump to question number 2. Best measures of success or quality of your schools. Who wants to jump in with that one?
Oh, come on. We really need great ideas.
Here we go, right up here, right up front.
Only because I had to. The community is proud of our school and our changes. We make them proud, so that's what we feel.
A proud, supportive community. That is.
Right.
That's great. Without that, it'd be hard to be successful, right?
That's right.
Denise, I think right over here.
Where?
Through our mentoring program at Harrison High School, we've mentored over 50 hours of students already this year, and our communication with parents have just increased tenfold. So we're seeing big successes in that realm.
Great. Good. Wonderful. Okay, let's jump to number 3. Who has an answer they want to share? How do we make sure every student in Arkansas has the opportunity for success?
First, we define what success looks like on an individual basis.
Oh, wow. Okay. Individualized learning. Who else?
Oh. Has somebody been nominated?
They nominated me to say this to the commissioner.
Uh-oh. What have you done, John?
But, exactly. But our statement for this one is a lot of things are going to come from the top down. Not from the bottom, but from the top.
Yeah, and I don't consider it bottom, but I certainly consider it where the work's going on, and that's you all. So that's why this, although short in time, powerful in its impact, that we get these thoughts from you and incorporate those in our planning system. So again, please, as you have an opportunity to come to a listening tour session, please come. Please bring a team. Look at it two ways. One way is you are letting the department know what's important to you. But another way to look at it is you are letting other schools, other districts in your area hear from you as to what you are doing and what you think. Because what I think is going to happen, this is going to be infectious. And we had 120 last year. Is that right, Denise? 120 or so, over 300 this year. Next year, we're going to have to take that divider out because what you are doing is getting noticed. It's not what we're doing. It's what you are doing. It's getting noticed. And others are saying, hey, we want in on that. Please take an opportunity to go to our ESSA webpage. More opportunities for feedback. We're going to have multiple surveys that we want to hear from you. For every time we upload a new survey, we want you to go on and give us feedback for that particular survey. The schedule for our ESSA listening tour, schedule for our ESSA steering committee, and the opportunities, the agendas for those committee meetings are going to be posted. We want to be transparent about this process. And then an email address, ade.essacomments@arkansas.gov, set up specifically for comments. Share this with your folks back home, with your board members, with your community members, because their feedback is as important as feedback from our educators. And then Tina Smith, Tina, wave at everybody. Tina has been with us a few weeks, doing a great job, and she is our Director of Special Projects. And I've said many times, no project is any more special right now than the Arkansas Accountability Plan that we are working on through ESSA. Also, just want to close out with a few thank yous. I want to thank our ERZs and our co-ops. Many of those partners are here today. And without their support, without their willingness, and they're just diving in to this effort, it would be difficult for us to see an effective rollout across the state of these innovations. So to all you co-op ERZ folks, thank you for being here, and thank you for being an integral partner with us. Also, you heard some information this morning about the new platform, this Facebook platform that is rolling out. Now the name escaped me, but Michael talked about it. I've got a note here. I said I won't forget. Now I'm going to forget. Summit, Personalized Learning Platform. Later on this fall, in October, APSRC is going to have a deep dive into the Summit Learning Platform at their conference. So if you're interested in that, check out the APSRC website, another key partner with us in this effort. All the partners, AAEA, you name it, without their involvement, we would not be as effective in getting this done and across the state. So, I'll say this again, I've said many times. We are at a launching point in education in Arkansas. We are at a point where in 20 years, if we keep doing what we're doing today, as a whole, we're not going to be serving the needs of our students. If we are doing the things that you are doing statewide over the next 20 years, we're going to change the dynamic for our students. And we will be leading the nation in student-focused education. Our friends in Maine and New Hampshire are going to be looking, in Kentucky are going to be looking to catch up to us but it's because of the work that you all are going to do. And when folks are writing books about the education miracle in Arkansas, you can say, I was there when it started. I was there when we started seeing the innovations. And you can be proud of the work that you have done as an educator, as an administrator, as a citizen of the state of Arkansas, because you are going to change the lives of student upon student upon student, and you're going to change this state.